Hello. I'm going live on Instagram now. Okay, you guys? Hi. Welcome to another episode of the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. I'm your host, Makiba. Thanks for being patient. I'm excited about this week's episode. It is, as of now, unnamed, but that is okay because it always comes to me while I'm editing and finishing up the last touches. So this week, I'm interviewing two amazing women who are former cheerleaders with the Jets flight crew named Samantha and Ashley. They have a wonderful program called Three Cheers Dance and Fitness. And I think it's an excellent program for young girls in their area. They're kind of in the North Jersey area, but they're expanding. They just got a studio, and I'm just really excited to talk about like the next generation of dancers in this space. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to catch you guys up a little bit because last week I had the absolute pleasure of meeting in person for the first time Tara Saunders, who is the founder, CEO, fashionista extraordinaire of Dallas Wear, you guys. I interviewed her last summer as part of the podcast, and I just feel like we are like long lost childhood friends or something, and I can't even believe that was our first time meeting. I think I saw her join. If you're there, Tara, hello. I miss you. We had such a wonderful time, you guys. I think we talked for hours and hours and hours. I love you too. It was amazing. And I just, it just put me in a space of really being so grateful for this platform and the relationships that I've been able to establish. I know I haven't met a lot of you guys, but I feel like I know you. We talked for 7 hours. Yes, Tara, let them know. We somehow managed to have this amazing conversation stretch way beyond dinner. They came over to our table like 50 million times trying to clear our plates, but we were grazing, talking, drinking, grazing. I mean, it was just amazing. I'm so excited to see you again. I already want to go back to Dallas. I love traveling, you guys. If you don't know that about me, it's a big passion of mine. That's why the Rona was driving me crazy, because I really do enjoy leaving Seattle, getting away from this weather, and just having experiences. That's what life is all about. And I was talking to Brittany about like possibly going to Austin next, because I've been there once before. It was unseasonably cold. I felt a little robbed. So I'm willing to obviously give it another chance to check it out. Sorry, I'm all out of frame. But let's see. Yes. So Ray says, you are amazing. When we met, it felt like we've known each other forever. You are an amazing person, and so glad we got to connect, meet, and talk. Okay, so yes, Ray, I'm a huge fan, and congrats, by the way. I'm going to get to the Baltimore Ravens cheerleaders auditions in a minute. But when you joined me that night for live, Ray, like it just warmed my heart to a whole nother level. I mean, Brittany and I both enjoyed meeting you, and it did feel like we already knew each other. It's just crazy. And it's just crazy, the energy that you give. And I just appreciate you guys giving energy back to me. I know these live sessions have just been on and popping with comments, and it's so exciting because I really do love hearing from you guys. I love connecting with you guys. And there's just so much to talk about. And so much so that I might just move Cheer Chat to another night to give me more time to edit, because I do want people who, listen to the podcast in a more traditional way, who don't maybe follow on Instagram or YouTube, to be able to listen to these conversations. And I hope it just doesn't sound like ADD all over the place as I'm responding to your comments and whatnot. But it's just such good conversations. And again, I'm just really excited to keep that as part of the content. So hopefully Monday night works for you guys. If not, maybe it's Sunday. I don't know. We're going to figure something out, or I'm going to end up staying up all night editing, whichever it is. I'm down. I just want you guys to keep talking to me, keep writing to me, and let me know if you want me to come through your city. Like, obviously I'm waiting for games and the reason to travel to see you guys perform. I mean, I can't wait for that. But until then, I might just come and hang out. So that's what we're doing. I saw Danielle and oh my gosh, Candace in DC a couple weeks. Well, no, that was about a month ago now. Gosh. But we got together and had cocktails, and I'm just like, I'm here for it all. Like, it was amazing. Danielle, how long were we at that restaurant? We were there for like quite a bit, I think, as well. But y'all know I'm chatty Patty. I can talk. Right now I'm going to sip, let some people join. Thank you for joining on YouTube. Okay, let me just go through the roster because let's see. At the start of the year, I was in January. I went to Atlanta and I saw Jasmine, the owner of Next Level Prep, and got to sit in on one of her classes. I know I talked about it, but I'm just thinking of all the other places that I've been since the start of the year. I went to Aruba. Brittany and I went down to Long Beach, DC, Texas. Like I'm down to go anywhere. I know that it's changed now. I was doing all this traveling, you guys, before the tickets went up and before people felt so comfortable to travel. But I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna be in Florida for a week in the first full week of July. The office is closed and I am just out of here. I'll be kind of in the Fort Lauderdale area. And as soon as the cicadas leave, gross, you guys, I cannot even handle the cicadas for 2.5 seconds. As soon as they're gone, I will come back to the DMV area. I also have to get up to Philly as well. Oh, you're gonna take me to some vegan spots, huh, Ray? Okay. I'm down. I don't think I've actually tried too much vegan food and whatnot, but you know, I could probably use a little dietary change here and there. So anyway, I love you guys and I'm excited to chat with you again tonight. Again, this interview this week is with Samantha and Ashley of Three Cheers Dance and Fitness. So depending on how long our chat goes today, it'll be either like one episode or we'll split it up in two parts, okay? So let's get started. I want to talk retirement, the sad stuff, and then we'll get to the happier stuff with auditions. But I'm sure you guys have seen the announcements. I know that some of the teams posted out on their official account and other teams, you know, the dancers will just post their goodbye post, farewell Friday or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know about you, but it makes me a little sad. I mean, it's, I'm not naming everybody because I'll miss somebody and then I'll feel bad. But with DCC, they did this whole tweet that had like all of the DCC cheerleaders that were announcing their retirement, and Brianna, Sienna, and like Savannah, just people that I was just like, really? Dang, you know, all of them, actually, we want them all to stay every year. And then just a couple people from Rams and obviously Denver Broncos. And these were people that actually stood out to me in my own way. I mean, we all watch everybody and probably connect with different people, but I had picked Gabriella and Brittany from Denvis. Is that a city, you guys? This is not Rose. This is Moscato. We'll see if this is going to impact me as I record. But Gabriella from the Denver Broncos cheerleaders was one of the cheerleaders that I drafted for the NFL draft that I did. And she's retiring. And Brittany from the Rams also retired. And she was the other cheerleader that I picked for my draft. So Dee from DVC, like there's just a lot of people that have the most touching announcements of their retirement. And it just takes me back to that moment where you're trying to put the words together, like how do I sum up these past 5 years or however many years? And it gets pretty emotional. And I know that it's because it's audition season, it's very bittersweet for people because, you know, you're probably having that little itch inside, like I'm not really done, even though you know you're done. But I encourage you guys to, you know, just give people their flowers now. You know, if somebody you've always admired or looked up to or inspired you to audition for that team, you know, just sharing that with them because you want to feel like you made your lasting mark on an organization or at least did your best to represent the organization. So if one of these retiring cheerleaders have touched you, I think reaching out and letting them know is a beautiful thing. It's part of the healing of, you know, stepping away from this world that we love so much. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to the women that are retiring. I haven't seen any mail announcements of retirement, but again, I might be missing stuff. It's impossible to keep up with Instagram and their lovely little algorithm. Okay, so let's talk auditions. You guys ready? So I'm waiting obviously for more official announcements. Again, this was like scrolling through and seeing people post in like the Baltimore Ravens Stadium, you know, like year 2, year 3, year 4. I just want to give a huge congratulations to everybody who made the team. Not a lot of information that I was able to like pull together for what the audition process was like for you guys. Not a lot, at least on social media, but I'm sure it was a very challenging audition. And, you know, with the virtual whatnot, I'm sure the numbers were pretty competitive. So congratulations on making the team again. Again, I always get excited when I see people who have been very, open about their journey, with whether they're posting about the audition prep company that they used. But just seeing people make the team is just really exciting because I know that you worked your butt off to make that goal come true. And so I just, again, congratulate you. I did see with the Titans, they definitely hyped up their auditions process, just with their announcement video and just information on the judges, the finalists. It was definitely pretty well covered, I would say, in social media, which is nice to see, kind of like the Colts. I see you guys in here, but I love it because obviously it gives me content in ways that I can keep up with what's going on. So I don't know how new this choreographer is, Marissa, and I will jack up her last name, Malel. We need the phonetic spelling of this, but anyway, she's a former Titans cheerleader. Apparently was a So You Think You Can Dance alum, and it seems to be a shift, I would say, in this Titan style, but we'll see. But they showed a good amount of the audition video, and there's a lot going on, but these dancers look hella talented. I mean, the people that made the team, some people that stood out to me, I'm just going to give them their shout outs because I just couldn't take my eyes off them. But Donovan's always kills it. You guys know this. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Augie and Cottrell, like, whoa. Wow. Male dancers and I don't know who's made like stunting versus dance, but I just know I saw in the clip that they were killing it. So I just wanted to say I'm excited to, see the Titans cheerleaders and the performances this year. There were 51 finalists, and they kept reiterating throughout that video that basically anybody could have made that team. It was just a super, super competitive year. But it's exciting when you get to see like the teams form, and the more footage teams show, the absolute better, because we can all just relish in it and get excited for people who are going through the process. But yeah, Augie was killing it. Cottrell was killing it. Donovan was killing it. I'm just shouting out the guys. I really did like too that they included in the video some of the questions that the judges asked real time. I mean, the judges panel, and I don't know if they did that before they danced like we used to do back in the day, but very well spoken, articulate answers that were given that I thought were not the kind of, it's a little pageant like, but I do think it's good to see real time for everybody to see, not just like in a one-on-one interview, but like how you present yourself when the pressure's on, before you're before you're about to perform, and how you would engage with people. And one of the questions was more or less, you're at an event, they described the community service event, and somebody asked you why you're here. I think it was something around feeding the homeless or something like that. What would you answer? How would you answer a reporter who asked, why are the cheerleaders here? And I think that was really a great way of kind of putting you in a situation, in a scenario where you're thinking on your feet, because we are put in all sorts of situations. You guys know this, and the press is always there asking some question that maybe you can fumble up on, but having that composure and maturity to be able to speak well for the organization on behalf of it is just a really important skill set to have. And I thought it was interesting that the Titans cheerleaders fall under their community engagement. I forget the technical title, but they fall under that piece of the organization. So it's really, really not focused at all on purely game day entertainment. They're really strong on being an ambassador of an organization. And we all know that, but I think it's just really important to think about, especially in terms of your interviews, if you're still going through the process, how you would represent the organization in different scenarios, and maybe being able to speak to examples of your community service that you've done. I mean, we've all, been in school or community service through our jobs. And so, just showing that you're well-rounded and you can handle different scenarios, I think it's just a great skill. And they definitely pulled that out in their auditions process, which I thought was great. So congratulations to all of the Tennessee Titans cheerleaders. I'm excited to see what you have in store in terms of your choreography. The choreographer definitely seemed to be excited to throw a bunch of different styles your way instead of kind of like a one-note wonder. And obviously the stunting is super exciting to watch as well. And the tumbling, like, it should be a pretty dynamic game. I kind of want to go to Nashville too. That might be on my list, but I'm excited to go to a game somewhere when things, officially, watch me not be able to get a ticket, but whatever, I'm going to try. So the next topic, uh, you guys are amazing in sending me whatever, whether it's like an audition video, you send me, videos of you dancing, kind of like asking for input, um, questions, things you want me to weigh in on, all sorts of things. And I love that. And I like being open to talking about whatever you want me to talk about. If you want me to keep it private, I will. If you want me to talk about it on that podcast, I try to do that. And I think I've struggled a little bit, and I'm going to drink because why not? Because I've had a couple people send me the videos from the Seahawks auditions that are underway for the Seahawks dancers. I think this is their semifinal routine, and they have the option of submitting either a hip hop video or an NFL jazz style video. And, this is the truth behind the palms. I try to be as honest and truthful as possible, representing my own opinion, which I'm entitled to have, and just kind of saying some of the things that I think are maybe perceived as difficult, but it's always coming from a place of love and respect. And I really struggled because in watching the Seahawks dancers videos, I just admit I was left feeling confused about, again, and I know this is my city, my town, my team. I was not part of the Seahawks dancers. I was part of the Seagals dancers, cheerleaders that were the all-female team. So there's a lot of differences, and I know a lot of changes that have taken place, and I've already spoken on them, I think, ad nauseum. But I just will say, because I am looking at the entire spectrum for NFL, NBA, and beyond that, I definitely, it's not even like it's about a competition or anything like that, but, you're seeing the level of skill or styles, and what I'm witnessing are teams that have stuck to their identity. They know who they are. They know what they do well, and they do that, and they haven't really strayed from the formula. You have teams that are moving in different directions, focusing on athleticism and dancing, or maybe they've gone co-ed. There are different changes that are happening in our space, and I'm trying to be, welcome and embracing of all of them, right? But I think when I look at routines and choreography, I'd like to feel connected in some kind of way. I know we got limitations with the music that we can use and all of these things, but it's supposed to leave you feeling something like, wow, they were killing it, or I love this one moment, or this looked cool, or that looked cool. And I was just struggling to appreciate what I was seeing in terms of two distinct styles. Like one was hip hop, one was jazz, and it didn't feel like there was a difference, number one, between the two. I struggled in thinking about a male performer doing the hip hop piece because it really didn't read hip hop to me. And I'm only saying this in this forum because people wanted me to talk about it. And I just think that, as we look at the whole entire industry and landscape, it's just kind of maybe taking a step back of really thinking about where that team falls in the broader spectrum of other NFL programs, because it just seems to be, to me, like the program is lacking in terms of just in terms of identity. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not trying to, talk crap about the choreographer or this, it's really more just the choreography, I think, represents the style of the team. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like you just get the vibe of the team and what they're going for. And I just was left confused. And that was just a really awkward feeling to have, because I think if you're trying to do so many different things and you don't really have your lane that you're really just trying to excel in and be the ultimate best in, then I think it kind of can get muddied and lost. And I felt that from watching it. And people asked what I thought about it, and I struggled because it's not even about a loyalty thing. I think it's really just somebody who will say the truth, if you're with your friend and somebody's got a freaking booger in their nose. There's a type of friend that will just not say anything because they don't want to hurt your feelings or whatever. And then there's the kind of friend that will just pull you to the side and be like, hey girl, hey, like, you have something right here and we're done with it. It's not personal. It's not an attack. It's not to be embarrassing anyone. But I want what's best for all the dancers in that program. And, I know it's been a difficult transition to make, but I would just say that I think it might be a time to like reset what we're really going for with the Seahawks Dancers program, and then just kind of really having like a respect for the genres of dance, because this can be like a whole other topic of like hip hop and like what somebody called, I think it was, who was it? Kayla Marie Jackson, who coined it beautifully, called cheer hop, which is like not hip hop at all. It's very, it's just not it. And I think as we see these teams form that are going to be hip hop focused, or, that we just are really mindful of the genre and respectful of that, because what I saw was not really like representative of what I would think of hip hop, whether it's NFL or cheer hop or not. It's just kind of like, you can't just call it any old thing, and you want it to kind of speak to the true identity of what you're representing it as an organization. And it hurts my heart because I love my Seahawks. I love, the people that are on the team, the people who are leading the team. But it's really just, I have to be honest, just based on my opinion and my perspective, that I think compared to other teams, somebody sent me like the Dolphins, somebody sent me the Titans audition choreography, and I'm looking at different teams and I'm just seeing that there's like a certain level, of what they're trying to bring. And they're, again, kind of true to the identity of that team. And so it was awkward to see us being represented in a way that really didn't leave you with a clear sense of what you're going for. Does that make sense? I'm just going to share that and leave it there. It is, again, not to talk shit about anybody or anything. But it's one of those things that made it hard to watch the change that was happening, because it really, really was just confusing of who are the Seahawks dancers and what are they truly about. And I do think the choreography should match whatever that image is, right? And it doesn't seem to be gelling. And I want us to be better, not even the best. It's not about, like I said, a competition, but it wasn't like a good look in a way that really, like I said, represented the true genre of hip hop, as well as just kind of like, what are we really going for with the style? And I don't know how you guys felt, whoever's auditioning for Seahawks dancers. How did the choreography read for you? Did you feel good dancing it? Did it seem fun? It just, y'all let me know. Some people ask me, I'm letting y'all know, but you can let me know your take on it. Maybe, and there's something for everybody. Maybe people really attach to that style and think, and feel like that's the right fit based on your skill set and training. But you guys have like a really different field. I feel like our landscape is definitely changing, and you're going to have to definitely be paying attention to the choreography. We talked about that with the Washington football team, and what they threw at people in the auditions process. If you're really going to be talking about hip hop and somebody's going to teach you a pop, lock, and drop it type of routine, like, you have to really know your stuff, and really just kind of be true to who you are, if that makes any sense. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to drink. Y'all let me know what you think. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. Y'all asked. If you want me to opine on anything, send it to me. I will give you my 2 cents. It's just my 2 cents, right? But I want what's best for everybody. I'm rooting for everybody. I want everybody to be presented in their best light. That's that. So the last thing that I have on my list to talk about is the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And, I go back and forth with number one, I can't keep up with all of the, such and such day, happy donut day, happy this day, all the different months of the year. Obviously, Black History Month, I'm going to know that, right? But, and I just hate that feeling of like jumping on something just because it's that month. Like, you obviously would ideally be celebrating these things all year long, right? But it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And if sure you guys are aware, last Thursday, President Joe Biden signed into law the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which is intended to address, all like more than 6,600 hate incidents against the AAPI community just in this last year due to COVID and just flat out hatred. And so it's definitely a step in the right direction. The legislation is really intended to make it easier for people to report these crimes and for law enforcement to respond to them. We're talking about making things more accessible in terms of languages and just, kind of like a public announcement or public education aspect to it as well, so that people can use the right language when they're talking about COVID-19 and not be racially discriminatory in that sense. But I just wanted to open the floor. This is definitely, like I said, the platform that belongs to all of us in this space. And, I talked to some of my closest friends about what's a good way to kind of open the floor without seemingly like pouncing on this topic, because it's super, super sensitive. And there were a couple people that did respond to me reaching out. I would love to have an episode about it. But I also want to respect people's willingness to talk about things, right? Because it was a struggle last summer with BLM and how this was impacting our space. And talking about it was definitely difficult, but it felt like something I had to do. It was the right thing to do. So I just want to offer this space for you as well. And obviously I'm not of Asian American Pacific Islander descent, but I wanted to just share what it means to me in this space. Just things that I've thought about, for sure with, the Stop Asian Hate campaign, and kind of like thinking about BLM and how a lot of Black cheerleaders felt at the time. I hope that you have felt supported by your organization. I hope that there was a statement put out by your organization around this issue. I did see a lot of that. I reposted a lot of things as well. But I think there's this kind of, it's a difficult thing to talk about, but it just seems like there's just not a willingness to address it head on. It's almost just like easier to ignore it or not say anything. And again, I've often wondered if there was, any situations where the people on my team were maybe, felt slighted or invisible, or if they experienced some discriminatory behavior. Some of the teams go to Hong Kong. I think there's always like this thing with there's something going on that has anything to do with your racial background. Sometimes the teams will be like, snatch you up, and they're going to put you on the website, and you're kind of like, whoa, hello. And you do it because you're excited about it. We talked a little bit about that last week with diversity. But I'm just going to share something that happened my rookie year that definitely made me proud and excited and about the level of diversity with the Seahawks, because it was rookie year, and this woman, Geraldine, we call her Jelly. She is part of my crew of closest friends from Seahawks. But this is around the time where it's very early in the season. We had shot this calendar, but nobody knew who was on the cover, if it was going to be a group shot, a single shot. And when the director showed the cover of the Seahawks calendar here, show and tell time. This is Jelly. And when I tell you, like, the gasps and the reaction in the room was really, really telling. I think that it was definitely a surprise. I mean, here you have a rookie, but I think what was really, really telling was just, you have this beautiful Filipina on the like the cover of the calendar. And it was just, I felt super proud and excited, because it really, I think everybody expects to see the same symbol of beauty over and over and over again. And I just loved that our director at the time just was very, very bold in picking the most beautiful picture that she felt was in the calendar. And, I remember that year just thinking, because in Seattle, we have a huge community, and Asian American, Pacific Islander, Native as well. And so I tagged a bunch of pictures because I was kind of going down memory lane, but I just want to kind of share with you guys, I think when you see people for who they are and the beauty in their differences, it just feels really dang on good. And I remember that feeling my rookie year of like what representation I think that was probably the first time outside of just being super proud of being a Black woman. And obviously you get pumped when you see that kind of representation for your own. But that was kind of in this space, pro cheerleading, it was the first time that I felt that excited about just somebody else being elevated in that way, because I just think we often are overlooked. But here's a page also in the calendar that I want to show. Kelsey is a beautiful Latina, but we have, some other, oh, why am I showing this calendar like that? But I'm showing you because this is what struck me. It was just looking at the various, the wide variety of people represented on our team, and just, the beauty in that and showcasing that. And it means something. I'm not Asian and it touched my behind, so I'm just showing that. And then I'm going to just show you my rookie year picture. Might as well, right? Where is it? That's Jelly again, killing the game. I mean, she's freaking stunning. She has a sister, Gretchen. I'm not showing you every single calendar, but this is my rookie year. I'm just showing you. Anyway, and I can't not show a picture of my best friend that we ended up on the same month together. But this is the stuff you want to celebrate and enjoy. This is Sunrose, you guys. Look at my girl. This is me down here. But like, again, I just wanted to kind of showcase the importance of diversity, and not just always it being kind of a black-white issue. It's just really celebrating the beauty in everyone. And these calendars, to me, especially when they were revealed at the time, my rookie year, was just a pretty loud statement of that. Oh, thank you. Rookie picture's cute. I was definitely super, super shy, and was glad I was not in a bikini on the front cover. But I want to, again, just kind of close out by saying this platform is here for everybody to share their story, share their perspective and experience. And I don't want to do it in any sort of like tokenistic way, or anything that would obviously make people feel uncomfortable. But I think just in trying to share the space, share how it touches me personally, I have, that's my goal with this platform. So if you want to be a part of the episode, again, I have a couple people. I couldn't get the scheduling down to have an episode this week, but I would love that. If there's just anything that you want to kind of talk about collectively together, I think there's been episodes where having a small group and the connections that you make, like my Mother's Day episode where I had 5 different women from NFL, NBA get together. And it's just a beautiful conversation, you guys, to talk about your experiences and realize how much you have in common with somebody else. And I think it's great for representation, showing that moms can do it, showing that what it's like being an African-American woman on a cheerleading team professionally. And I would love to do the same for anyone and everyone. So y'all let me know if that's something that you're interested in. But I did want to state, especially because of the COVID-19 hate crime bill being enacted, that I definitely think this is a very important issue. My friends know if you mess with them, then you mess with me. And I just really, really struggle thinking of anything like this happening to somebody the people that I know and love that are close to me. And it's just a really tough topic to talk about, but I think people knowing that they're seen and heard is very, very important. And this platform is for you too. So, oh my gosh, is this not going to be like an hour and 15 minute cheer chat? What do you guys have for me? Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? The floor is open. You can join me if you want, what do you call it? Request me. But the floor is open. If not, I'm going to wrap up and get into finishing up the editing for this interview, select my episode name, and share with you the interview with Samantha and Ashley, because it was a great conversation. I think I've said it plenty of times before, but when I was on the Seagulls, one of the things that mattered the most to me was just the impact and the connection with young girls, young boys now too, obviously, but our junior program was just like my absolute favorite thing to do. And having a program that works with the youth and instills self-confidence in young girls, it's just a beautiful thing. And it's very, very important to me. And when I see this space changing or women in this space being disrespected and right in front of these young girls' eyes, it's really something that we just really have to keep in mind, that we're all connected. Like, people are looking up to you as a professional cheerleader or dancer. They want to be in your shoes one day. And so we really want to be responsible in the way that we reach out to them and the things that we stand up for in our current space right now, because we're trying to preserve a world for them to be a part of in the future, right? So I do love this episode. I think it just kind of connects the dots of like, this is the level that everybody aspires to. And so we do need to really be mindful of the outreach and the impression that we leave with these young men and women. And I love that people are starting their own companies, their own nonprofits, and ways of giving back. It's just a beautiful thing, you guys. These women retired from Jets, and this was something that they decided to do together. And so it's really inspiring. I won't give too much away. Jen said we need to get you some sponsors. Oh gosh, girl, yes, please, thank you. Listen here. I just want to say that I am fueled by pure passion, and I know that that feels like enough for me, but goodness knows that I need to treat this like a business, and I know better. But I just focus on the content and wanting to give you guys as much as I can that will hopefully be helpful along your journeys and whatnot. But yes, I need an agent and a marketing person and an intern and blah, 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 and some sponsors. Yes. But thank you for saying that. We don't mind advertising. Oh, thank you so much. She said, you do so much and need to be rewarded. I hate ads though. Like, if you got between Spotify or whatever, like, you put an ad on and I'm just instantly annoyed. So that's how I've guided through doing this podcast. It's just like, if I don't want to hear it, then I'm sure somebody else doesn't want to hear it. But I'm going to take what you're saying into consideration, Jasmine. I do this out of love and passion, and ultimately, would it be nice if it made a little something? Yeah, we do have Patreon that we just completely forgot about. But as long as you guys are listening and getting something from it, I'm fed. So I appreciate that. And at some point, I will get it together. But thanks for your patience, you guys. Like I said, this might shift to a Monday kind of cheer chat night. If I don't get my life together with editing, it's just getting back in the rhythm of it. You know how that goes. But I look forward to chatting with you every week. Let's see. Oh, somebody is thinking of trying out for the NBA Cleveland Cavaliers Powerhouse Dancers. It's coming up in July. Yeah, NBA auditions are right around the corner, you guys. And so we'll definitely be talking about that as it gets closer. It is already pretty much June. So we got not a lot of time. And I think a lot of the NFL auditions are happening in June too. So there will be plenty to discuss, and I will be keeping you posted. Congratulations again to everybody who has made the teams over the past weekend, that submitted their videos. That's like first step. And now you just sit back and wait. I'm putting all my good energy out there for you, obviously, to make the team. Keep me posted. I understand that the Bengals are also going through it. They're practicing really hard for their final showcase. So I will be peeled, and tag me and share things with me if you want me to, like I said, look at some videos, give my 2 cents, whatever. I'm here for it, and I love you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will let you go if there's no other little commentary. Okay. Y'all have a good night. Thanks so much for joining. And good luck auditioning for Cavs Powerhouse. That would be awesome.